Aveng is a construction and engineering group with a market cap of 12.2 billion rand, a dividend yield of 2% and a price to earnings ratio of 24. The group emerged from the Anglo-Val conglomerate and includes the Grinica LTA brand, Trident Steel and McConnell Dowell in Australia. Looking at that PE of 24, Paul, and looking at the sector, what's currently going through, would you be getting into Aveng right now?
Well, I quite like this stock. Roger Jardine, the CEO, is an old mate of mine. I like him and I like his approach to business. The group has done a lot of work over the years. As you said there, it used to just be the LTA division of Anglo-Val. Then they bought Trident Steel. They merged then with Anglo Alpha. They were forced to get out of the cement business because of the deal that was done to bring Afrisam into existence. They've done good work in terms of toll roads. They're building a water processing division. They've got a nice industrialized division. They're involved with all sorts of things and they've executed well. So they're quite well positioned. The problem is, as a result, they've sort of got the premier rating in the sector, and as a result, the share price, as you said there, looks kind of expensive. So they're a bit betwixt and between, to be honest.
What do you make of Aveng right now?
The last thing Paul said, a bit expensive. But it's always a question of, if you want to buy quality, you've got to pay for it. But, you know, I think if only they would have stuck to their major civil construction engineering side, that would have been best of all. You mentioned Trident and some of the other ancillaries that they've added on. And I think that is where they've maybe lost a little bit of their primary focus. I think, as Paul also said, they're great constructors. If only they would think and stick to that, but they haven't. So I could be no better than lukewarm to it.
Lukewarm, but Paul, when you look at that Grinica LTA division of their company, it has come under a lot of pressure, and they're also in Australia, but they're doing pretty well there.
Yeah, look, Australia obviously is a fairly mature, developed economy. The reason they're there is because they're following the construction-related work. So that Gorgon, LNG project, which is an island off the mainland of Australia, where they're developing a liquefied natural gas terminal. So big, environmentally sensitive construction projects related to the resources trade. We all know about Western Australia and the iron ore developments and so on there. So I don't think that's a net negative. You know, normally South African companies going to Australia, alarm bells start going off because they're going to make a mess. But I think they're fine there. I mean, they're big in all of the platinum and mining related activity. That's a net potential negative. But I don't know. I'm trying to put on a little bit of a slight positive turn to this. I think they will be one of the first to emerge from the downturn the minute the infrastructure spending and the commercial and corporate spending picks up. Because yes, government, but if you go back to 2005, 2006, the reason everybody was smiling in this sector is there was a lot of work around. And I think what we need is a global economic cheerfulness to break out for us really to see higher share prices in this sector.
What do you make of the Australian operations?
Well, it's a good operation, but is it good timing? What we have to look at now is what's happening to Australian exports, primarily iron ore, coal, for instance, to China. China's cutting down its imports, and I think that's going to have a very deleterious effect on Australia, and it's going to hit people like this, like Aveng and their group, who are going to say, hey, you know, we're going to see lower volumes, lower prices. So I don't think it's too much of a positive there. And also mentioning the platinum sector, you know, it may take quite a while before we see the demand on world vehicle supplies pick up, and the demand for platinum in exhaust catalysts. I think that's it's a bit of a way ahead. But you know, if it's the best of a lukewarm bunch.
So you lukewarm. Okay, we need to go hot
or
not.
Cold. I'll go with hot.
Oh, hot for this one. Paul, hot or not Aveng?
No, I think we'll get other earlier indications that the cycle is beginning to turn, and I think we're still years away from that. So not hot for me.